Okay, hello. So,
Hello.
how's everyone feeling about our every 2 weeks? Does it seem like it's too long in between? Does it seem like it's okay? We've only had a couple now, but any
It's good.
any bad feelings toward it?
No, it's good. It's just sometimes I miss you guys if I don't
Yeah,
catch people on an earlier Zoom call.
right. Yeah,
So
we were very used to seeing each other weekly, which
I
was
know,
fun
like
for the
multiple
three
times
years.
weekly.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but other than that, it's great for right now.
Yeah, yeah. And it's kind of nice for summer, and we can reevaluate when we get into the fall and see kind of where we're at. Well, if you are on gut protocol, you are 2.5 or 2 weeks in ish. And so I thought this was a good time to talk about how to stay on your plan, because this is about the time where we start getting a little bit like, how much longer am I doing this? Can I live this way? What's happening? Maybe some thoughts of like, I really want this other thing that I'm not having while I'm on the plan is creeping in. And so we can just talk about our different tips and ideas and ways to kind of push through some of those struggles. It's there's depending on how you're feeling about the plan right now. So I have a couple things to start with, and then we can just kind of, work through to see where everybody's at. And so, okay. So the first thing, hey Deepa. So the first thing I kind of feel like, maybe you're getting tired of the food. Like, so sometimes when you start out on a nutrition plan, you may be making the same things because it's really easy right now, right? So if you're feeling kind of blah about your food, this is where, and I go through these food ruts, right? Where it feels like I'm just eating so much of the same thing all the time. This is where I start looking for a new recipe, a new flavor, a new something to add in. So depending on how much you have the time to complicate things, right? Like if you're like, I'm already strapped for time getting this meal prep done, then maybe it's just some different seasonings. Like if you've been going Mediterranean, then maybe go Mexican. If you've been going Mexican, switch it over to something else, Mediterranean. Or like tonight, I was actually going to make a chicken shawarma, and we don't have all the herbs, which is weird, all the spices, which is weird. And so I pivoted to a lemon herb marinade for the chicken. So, if there's something that you can just kind of switch the flavor on, that helps a ton. In 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, we'll be getting 100 new gut protocol recipes. That's super exciting. I can't wait to see this cookbook and what's in there. So that's going to help definitely if you're on gut protocol plan. If you're on To Be Mindset or on Fixate, they release 4 to 6 new recipes every month. So definitely tap into that and find something new and exciting to kind of create a little fun. Today, I decided to hold on my Shakeology after my workout, and I just made an ice cream. So I did vanilla Shakeology, a little bit of coconut milk, half a banana that was already frozen, some vanilla, and then just blended that guy up, put a few cocoa nibs on top, and it was awesome. I think tomorrow I'm going to try it with cafe latte and put a little cinnamon in there, and it'll be like, coffee ice cream. It was perfect. So, mix
Yeah.
it up. Mix it up. Um, Depending on where you're struggling, like if you are struggling right now with staying on your nutrition plan, it's kind of like looking at it to see, is it how I feel about the plan? Is it the time I have to prep? Is it the plan itself? Like maybe this isn't the right plan for you in this season of whatever's happening. There's sometimes, like, let's say we're on Fixate or we're on gut protocol, and there is some measuring and some, calculating with containers. And maybe this time in your life, you're like, I don't really want to do that right now. I'd like to be a little bit more loose. You can go over to Be Mindset. You could, use that plan to get your veggies in, get your proteins in, and not necessarily be quite as calculated to the containers. But really examining where you're at. Like, is it a plan issue? are you in the right bracket? Like if you're not able to stay on your plan, is it enough food? Is it too much food? You know, are you in the right bracket? Looking at those kinds of things. And then I think the big kicker is our mindset, right? Like, are you looking at the plan you're on and the things you're doing and thinking, this is fun. I feel great. I like doing this. Or are you like, ugh, only another 2 weeks. I'm going to do this so I can lose the 5 pounds and then I'm done. Cause that's not going to make any plan fun. It's just not. It was funny. Today, I think I posted in there, I made those fish tacos today. I was like, my shoulder hurts from patting myself on the back a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was like, oh my God, that lunch was good. And I was like so excited about how good lunch was. And I'm like, I wonder if other people feel this way about their meals, or if I'm just like a little bit of a weirdo about my food. But I like get really excited when I make something really delicious, and then it makes me excited to try something else again or do something, the next meal, have it be fun and good and creative. So I don't know, that's just kind of where I come at it. So what else do you got? What do you think about like some tips to stay on, to, help yourself have the best experience while you're adjusting your lifestyle, really, because this is a not no end. And maybe that's not how you're looking at it too, right? That's the mindset piece too. Maybe you're looking at it as this nutrition plan has an end. So talk amongst yourselves. I'm gonna have a drink.
Okay, so I made the minestrone soup from Ultimate Reset yesterday, like last night I made it because I had all these vegetables that I wanted to use up and I wanted to go to the store and buy new ones today. And it was delicious. And I was not quite to the point where I was patting myself on the back, but I'm like, well, that was kind of cool because I got, a good 2 cups of vegetables at lunch, plus a little fluid. So yeah, but so I went to the store and replenished my vegetables. And so now I feel kind of, excited about what can I do now. And I
Right.
bought
Yeah.
jicama, and so that got me going again.
Yeah. Yeah. You're looking
Mhm.
at it with a, like, I can make new things and they taste good. And I'm excited to have my vegetables and feel good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or if you want to talk about how you're struggling too, like if you're, either way.
I was excited about that pork chop thing that we had on the meal prep. When I made that, I was like, oh, and I don't feel terrible eating this. Like the
Yeah.
pork chop and like I can't remember what I had with it. I think it was like either quinoa, brown rice, and like vegetables and stuff. Or I had a salad. And I was like, oh, I was like super full. It was delicious. And it wasn't like I'm full, but I'm not satisfied. It was like I'm full and satisfied. And so it was pretty exciting.
Yes. I love it.
So
And I
I
think
do
it's
feel like a little
figuring
bit
out,
better.
yeah, I think it's figuring out why you're satisfied, right? Like, because sometimes we'll have something really great and you'll be like, yep, that was like complete. Like I feel really good. Plus it was really good. And then sometimes it's like things miss a little bit where you're like,
Mm-hmm.
I still want something. So it's like trying to figure that out too. How can you make your meals so that you feel satisfied with them and want to continue? Because that's kind of different for everybody. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like today, putting like having those fats on that taco salad was perfect. Because I think had I not had some avocado and I had a little bit of coconut milk in the slaw, it just made it feel more rich. Because normally when you get
Yeah.
like fish tacos, there's some great crema glaze on there or whatever, or
Yeah.
avocado cream. And so, it was just kind of felt like it was still something I could get at a restaurant.
Yeah, definitely. I made like a little chipotle bowl, like with some like quinoa, black beans, and chicken, and some salsa, and a little bit of avocado and stuff. I was like, oh, like Chipotle,
Yum, I
but
love it.
that's so good. Yeah.
So Deepa, you're saying that your creativity is your drawback. So yeah, that it is hard. And sometimes it's like you don't want to mess something up. I know I've had some clients who are like, I don't want to make it and then have it be bad. The hard part is that sometimes you're going to fail in your food and it's not going to be great. And, but you probably through that process can learn things. I would say if like there's, if you haven't looked at the Ultimate Reset recipes, because I know you're, are you vegan or vegetarian? You can
Vegetarian.
Vegetarian. Okay. So the Ultimate Reset recipes, especially that Taste of the World one, because you have Mediterranean, Mexican or Spanish, I think it goes, and Indian. And so then you can kind of expand into some other flavor profiles, and they're all vegetarian. Well, most of them are vegetarian. There's a few pescatarian in there, but
There's a new one which divides it that way.
Do you what?
There's a new one that divides it that
There
way.
is. So
Oh,
if you're in your body app and
yeah.
you go into the programs, scroll down to the nutrition and recipes, and then if you scroll over here to Ultimate Reset, there we go. So then in the program materials, there's going to be a Taste of the World, and this is a PDF where it has just a ton of new recipes.
And they are so good. Everyone I've tried has been so delicious from that. I
so
like.
Same. I agree.
Yeah, it's a great way to just kind of get started on things, because sometimes when you're, and I'm a Pinterest person too. I absolutely love looking at food through Pinterest, but sometimes it's harder to containerize or figure out what's going on, where it seems like these Ultimate Reset recipes are pretty straightforward and are going to be much easier for you to calculate on a plan. They don't have container counts with them because there isn't any containers on the Ultimate Reset, but it's pretty simple, right? Like if you need 3 cups of vegetables, you can make your recipe with 3 cups of vegetables and, figure the recipes out. But I think it'd be a great place to start. And just kind of checking out those places and, explore a little bit. Try like 1 recipe a week.
Yeah, sounds cool. I'll try that.
Yeah. Does anybody have any tips for how to stay on what's worked for you? Like what helps you kind of keep with the plan? Bev, you're like the plan master of your own plan.
I just keep it really simple. That's just the gosh honest truth. I have for a while I rotated between 2 different breakfasts. Now I'm very much almost the same breakfast most mornings. My lunches are bowls. We have Mexican twice a week. I have fish a lot. Because I don't eat beef and I don't eat pork. And I've kind of eliminated chicken too. So it's like, yeah. So, I mean, my biggest thing is like, I guess as soon as I start to feel like I'm getting tired of something, I switch a component of that meal, like whether it be spices or something that I add on top or something that it contains, like the bowls. I forgot that peas were considered to be a vegan protein on the gut protocol. And I'm like, we have these peas that are like, they were practically like, some of them were like sunken in but I mean, they tasted fine once you hooked them up and everything. But, I mean, so I've had peas multiple days in that bowl, and that like is completely different. And, or I'll add, salsas or hot sauces or something. I'm very particular about my salsas too, because I make sure that they don't have a bunch of added sugars. Because I'm also not one to make my own salsa. I used to in the past. I just haven't in a very long time. It's just much easier to just get one.
There's so many companies too that are cognizant of that now. Like you see in the tomato sauce arena, right? It was just Rouse. And now it's like you can get Safeway brand without added sugars and with a decent, list of ingredients. So I think a lot of places are kind of coming around to see that there's definitely a market,
Right. Right. Yeah. So, I mean, and so I switch up what type of salsa I want to use too, because that'll give me a different flavor, just like the seasonings. So, that's basically the biggest thing. I mean, as soon as we start getting bored with something, we switch it up.
Mhm.
And, always keeping it simple. Always have like the basics. I always have rice on hand. I have quinoa on hand. I have sweet potatoes already baked and portioned, so all I have to do is warm them up. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think. We always double and triple batch cook vegetables so that we can use them the next day or for multiple days, depending upon, you know, what it is. Like that, the cauliflower rice taco meat,
Mhm.
that is something that both Scott and Jacob use in their lunches pretty much all the time. It's one of the things that they add in their lunches. So, and they do a lot of beans and things like that. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Because if I make it too complicated, then I'm like, it takes too much time, and
Yeah.
I'm all about like just getting it done. And I also like, once I like something, I'm stuck on it. I mean, that's my thing with Shaco too. Like I'll get onto a kick where I'm like, this is all I've pretty much eaten, which is the pudding right now. I've got the vanilla pudding and I put some cinnamon and apple and now I did coconut shreds because I was like, oh, I'm not getting my oranges in. So
Right.
coconut shreds and walnuts and yeah, that's like it's so good. So good. And I tried changing it up yesterday with some blackberries instead. And I'm like, yeah, that was okay.
See, and that
Yeah.
like what Bev's saying right there too is so important. Like she's excited about what she's gonna have that again the next day. And I think it's finding those things in your plan that you're excited about having again. That you're like, that was really good. And so it's figuring out when are you satisfied, when are you not satisfied, how much work do you want to put into it? Like I change my stuff up every day. So it's like, you just have to figure out where you find the satisfaction in it. And then if you feel like you're still like missing things, then plan those in at some point, right? I found the things I was missing, the longer I stayed like to my plan, I'd have them occasionally, right? But they kept tasting less and less exciting because they were probably something processed or, just not really homemade. Like I can think of this almond croissant that I was just dying to have after I finished 21 Day Fix. And then I had it and I was kind of, I mean, it was good. But and before we started this plan, the Costco ice cream bars that are covered in chocolate with the nut, turns out they have soy in them. So thank you, Costco. But anyway, I had one and before we started the gut protocol, because I was kind of on an ice cream kick and I'm like, it was good, but I wasn't like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to have another one tomorrow. So I was like, meh. And then I said that, then it had the soy in it and I'm like, I really don't like getting more acne. So we're good. We're good now. We're good. And I don't no regrets, right? Like I'm kind of like, meh, it's gone.
So I wonder, will I feel the same way about M&Ms?
I don't know.
Well, so here's the thing that I have noticed, what I have started to think on myself is when I have something and I really enjoy it that is like overly processed, I notice the next day what cravings I have. And I will and like if I'm craving that again, then I know it's like, yeah, I need to stay clear. Like
Yeah.
I
Same.
need to dive into something else for a little bit.
Yep.
Or else it's gonna hang on and it's gonna take hold. So I mean, and some days I'll go more than one day doing something like that. Like when we went on our trip and stuff. It was like, oh yeah, there was plenty of processed stuff that I ate within that time. And um and yeah, so once I came back, it's like, okay, I need to clear this stuff out. It needs to I need to get back into feeling the way I want to feel every single day. Like I'm in control of my cravings instead of my cravings controlling me because of my poor choices.
I agree. Like when I was doing the 75-day before this, my
Mhm.
weakness is having samosas. I used to have once a week whenever I went to buy vegetables, like Indian vegetables on the weekend, I would buy like four for the house. So there's one. And then if somebody didn't eat, I would have that for breakfast the next day. So when I didn't have for 75 days, everybody was like, okay, what are you going to have? Now that you're done 75 days. And I thought, the next time I see samosa, I'm going to buy. But no, till today, I haven't. And then I got into the gut health. So I'm like, it wasn't appealing
Yeah.
anymore. I didn't feel that craving. So it's like it became it's like, okay, it's there. I don't need it. I can survive without it. And maybe one day, and probably it's not tasty anymore. So I have no
Right. Yeah, it's really
craving.
interesting how that happens and how you're just kind of like it no longer has this power. You're just kind of like,
Mhm.
if I have it, but I don't need it, and so why bother? Because I'm feeling great without it. So why go there?
Oreo cookies were that for me years and years and years ago. I had gone so long without having Oreos, and then I had one, and I'm like, what just happened in my mouth? Like I was like, that just tasted so processed. It was so bad. It's ready.
Oh,
My
that's
kid
funny.
did that after 2.5 years. Like she was eating Oreos a lot, and then like she had a little bit of insulin resistance, so all processed food and everything out. And she had one recently because there's nothing else in the hotel, so we got an Oreo cookie, and she was like, "Oh my God, this tastes delicious." But she had only one or two. She knew that she had to curb it. She didn't finish the whole packet that night, so I was happy.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
know Oreo cookies is like tempting.
Yeah, they didn't, and sometimes those foods too that you want to go back to or that like they hold some kind of emotional feeling for you too. It might not even be just the taste all the time, or, there can be something kind of historical with it. So, another way to explore your mindset and how things are going with you and your food. All right, any more tips with that, or we can get into some of the questions we had in the group too.
I get most tired of making new things all the time. So, like Beth said, I like to double all the recipes and have things twice. Because I get tired of the idea of making and that's usually what takes me off track.
Interesting. So maybe it's almost like you need like a scheduling calendar for your food where you're just like, I mean, because like Bev has certain nights where it's like Mexican and certain nights are this. And so maybe
Yeah,
you even tone it, like get it even more strict, and then you don't even have to like think about it at all. You're like, this is just what we're having each of
yeah.
these nights.
I have a, if I get in a really good routine, I'm prepping on Sunday and then like prepping on Wednesday. And then I don't have as many nights where I'm like, oh, what do we make? What do we have? Except when we have company or something. But so
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, really, in the end, if you are struggling on your plan, it's time to have a little inward and see why, like where the struggle is, where the complication is, and that's the perfect thing to ask about then in the nutrition chat or with your partner, your body partner, and just, find out kind of what their tips are and what's happening, because there's definitely solutions and tips and tricks around specific things, right? So like if you're, whatever it is that you feel like is kind of, not making it go as smooth as you'd like, that's where this is a great topic to kind of come back to. All right, so let's talk about oil. So Kim had brought up, what are good oils? And I think specifically we were talking about palm oil. Now I don't have a lot of oil knowledge, so we're gonna go off of, I'll kind of say what I know, but then we're gonna go off of also what Fixate has. Fixate tends to have you know, avocado, walnut, sesame, olive. I can't remember what the other ones I just had. Anyway, that your basic oils, palm oil, to my knowledge, is not bad in itself. What's bad is its environmental destruction and the orangutans that are getting killed for the forest to be, or the palm to be taken down. So I don't believe, I'm not sure that, and maybe Bev knows more about palm oil, but I think palm oil in itself is supposed to be fine. It's just the environmental and physical effects of wildlife that is, to my knowledge, is what's been bad about it. Now,
Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, but on Fixate, they recommend just having peanuts ground. So not
Okay.
having additives, right? Like your peanut butter is just peanuts, roasted peanuts.
And salt. maybe.
Right. Right.
What, because I got like my, you know, crack peanut butter, which is Justin's, and I got it when we were on vacation, and both of my son's fiancés wouldn't touch it for the palm oil. So I just was like,
Did they say why?
they just said, they didn't say either that, you know, I just assumed it was, I don't, bad for you. I didn't think about the environment, but, so I just wondered, you know, maybe I couldn't seem to remember. So I thought maybe I should just write on my refrigerator, you know, what oils I should be cooking, you know, cooking with or not. And I think there was something I watched. Did you see the Zoe Deschanel? What's her name? Zoe
Deschanel?
Now,
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you see her series on food?
I did
It's
not.
it's
I
on one of the streaming channels, and she did one whole episode on oils. I just couldn't remember which one. So I'll look it back up, and if I find it, I'll tag you guys in it, because she it was kind of titled something like "What's in My Food" or something like that, and she has 3 or 4 episodes. If you're interested.
so what I do know is that palm kernel oil is the more saturated oil, and the one that I would say avoid. Like palm kernel oil is like, say, in I believe it's like in Skittles.
Okay.
Like if you look at most of like the candies, it's palm kernel oil
Okay.
that's in it.
Okay, gross. Okay.
And so it's a more solid oil. And I know that they say like the oils that grow solid in cooler or
Yeah.
warm
In cool
cooler
temperature.
temperatures are the ones to avoid. Yet at the same time, there's a lot of benefits to the cold press unrefined coconut oil too. So, which is what I cook a lot with, although I've also been hearing a lot more about olive oil, and like I knew that it was good. I know that it has a lower flash point, which means that it smokes earlier on, but it's when it heats to that point, it has something else that comes out, which is oleic acid, I believe. I can't remember what I just heard, but it's another beneficial nutrient that the body gets from when the oil is actually heated to that point. So it's not like 100% necessarily bad. So there's a lot of different things. I mean, they say that, you know, once it gets to that flash point, that's when it starts to become rancid. And a lot of oils get to that pretty
Yeah,
quickly.
and I think they've even thrown around words like it has a carcinogen effect
Yes.
when you get to your flash
Correct.
point. So yeah, I mean that's what's hard, right? Like there is differing opinions on oil. I think you're fairly like, so in Fixate, the oils she lists in there, you're pretty safe with all those things, which is olive oil, coconut oil, flaxseed oil, walnut, pumpkin seed, sesame. Those are all just pretty like standard oils that are fine. Now, when you get into like a vegetable, canola, things like that, those tend to cause inflammation in your body. They just don't process in the same way. Your body doesn't react in the same way as it does to some of the other oils. I don't know that that's an everybody or a somebody. I think you'd have to get into who does the study and what they wanted to come out of the study on those things. But you know, you're safe with the oils listed on Fixate. She does not list palm oil. She also does list butter and ghee in Fixate. So yeah.
I was,
Yeah, and Deepa was asking whether or not ghee was good. And I'd
Yes,
say
ghee
like
is
if you
great.
can
Yep.
handle ghee, then yes.
Ghee is in both Gut Protocol and in Fixate.
Yeah. If you don't have a dairy sensitivity or something.
I think flaxseed oil was another one that that I had heard mixed things about. That's why. But
Well,
I,
there's also something else that uses flax. No, I can't remember. Yeah. Go ahead, Kim, sorry.
oh no, that was it. Like I guess they all sound familiar, you know, so that I forget, you know, it's just something I'm gonna have to put on my phone or something, so I remember when I'm at the store.
Yeah.
My coconut oil, it's so hot in here. Our air conditioning is not really working, but it's completely, you know, not solid.
Liquid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe ask them why, if maybe it's an environmental thing that they don't like the palm oil. But you don't really see palm oil to purchase. It's
Right.
in food product, and like Bev
Yep.
said, it's also palm kernel oil in food product. And sometimes you'll see labels that say palm oil sustainably sourced
Okay.
products, so that they have not cut down the forest for the orangutan.
No,
Well,
they
and
both of both my son's families they're much more strict with the food that they eat. They only eat organic. They wouldn't eat anything we brought that wasn't organic, or so it was you know, even fruit and vegetables and stuff. So it was interesting to me. I was learning, or I figured I got to step up. I have to step up with them.
well, and the palm oil is actually from the fruit, whereas the palm kernel oil is from the seed. It's extracted from the seed. So, I mean, both of them I don't think are like the best. That's basically all I can say. I would avoid kernel over just regular palm for sure, but yeah.
All right. Any
Yeah,
other?
I'm gonna look up Wild Friends to see what oil, if they have oils.
I think that some of them have palm, because I'm pretty sure I've looked at that before. Some of them
Okay.
have palm oil. I don't know that all of them do. The one my favorite does. I'm pretty sure it's because it's got chia, flaxseed, cashews, peanuts, and there's a little
And
added,
nut butters.
yeah, and there's a little added sugar too. It's delicious. Okay,
Yeah.
let's switch to vinegar. So Sue had asked about vinegars and if balsamic vinegar is bad, and my immediate answer is no, but you have to look at the label to see how much sugar they added. Balsamic is just a sugary vinegar, right? A lot of it's been aged, and it's really delicious. So you just need to look and see how, like I looked at my Costco one before I came out here, which has been a pretty solid balsamic, and it has 6 grams of added sugar. My guess is the serving size probably around 2 tablespoons, but I didn't look specifically. So it has a decent amount of sugar in it. Now, is it bad? No, right? I mean, you just kind of got to take it with, if you're putting it in a dressing, you don't use a lot in a dressing anyway. And then those dressings, oh, good. The peanut butter doesn't. Oh, good, Kim. Okay. Wild Friends. Sorry. She's a U of O grad. I got it. But they gotta support the locals. So yeah.
That's what I meant by the balsamic, is that it had sugar. And so for gut protocol, it's probably not the best vinegar.
You just have to watch, right? Like if you were to make
Yeah.
a Greek dressing, that would
Mhm.
be 6 grams of sugar across 8 servings.
Right.
So
So it's not
really,
that much.
really not a big deal.
Yeah.
So you just have to look at it. I mean, with balsamic, you just don't use very much
Mhm.
anyway. So yeah, so just kind of be cognizant of those things, especially in gut protocol, where you're just kind of, just checking the labels, see where things are at, what's added, and then how much you're actually using in your recipe. Like some of the recipes I'm adding to our chat, they like that one yesterday or 2 days ago had the teriyaki chicken, and that had like 3 tablespoons of honey. Well, it's going to be pretty sweet. It's a little high for GP. So you can just lower it and then your chicken's just a little less sweet. It really depends on how you like your teriyaki chicken, or you wait and have it after you're done with gut protocol and, you know.
But wouldn't that burn off too if you're cooking it?
I don't think so. It doesn't burn off in cookies. Alcohol burns off. Sugar
So you
doesn't.
don't think it would?
Sugar doesn't burn off.
Yeah.
All right. So any other discussion points or questions or anything y'all want to talk about?
No.
I have some questions about well, I think I sent a couple pictures on Sunday or Saturday when I was at the store. I still can't figure out or where to find that miso paste so I can make that dressing.
Yes.
And I'm not sure what it looks like. So if somebody could send me a picture of the right one.
I'm gonna go on Amazon right now because I did find I should have sent it to you.
Maybe it's on. And then so the artichoke hearts, because I think I told you guys when you guys were here for Summit, because I'm sure I know I've had artichoke like in dip and stuff, but like I'm trying to incorporate new stuff, but we can have the ones in the can, right? Like that's on the shelf. Like you don't have to get the actual artichoke and cook them. Like you can have the artichoke hearts that are in the can, right? Or
correct. Yes.
No. Okay.
You just want to make sure they're not a marinated artichoke heart because those tend to be in oil.
Yeah.
But I get that's how all I eat in the Mediterranean salad is I get the canned ordered artichoke hearts.
Okay. And then because like in that area, and I think that's where I guess I was getting confused. I think Sue was giving me the information was like I see is it beets or something like that, but those ones seem like they had additives in them. And so like
the pickled beets. They had
it was the pickle, that's what it was. So
but a regular canned beet shouldn't have any. You could look at the back, but they should just be a beet. Yeah.
Okay. And so are those good or are they like weird?
They'll be fine.
Like...
It's up to if you like them. Canned vegetables, totally fine. You're just looking in the back to make sure they didn't add something extra in. But canned beets would be totally fine. There's also beets in the like refrigerated section of the produce section that are already cooked, but just in a Ziploc, like a sealed bag.
See, and that's where I think I don't know if because like I've looked and I mean I don't like I know in our refrigerated section where they have like the tofu and all that.
That's
stuff,
where that's where this miso.
That's where you would find the miso.
Yeah,
my miso doesn't look like that.
This is like they just come. This is the one from Whole Foods, but they come in like a container like that generally in our stores where it's just a squatty container. It has to be refrigerated to still be continuing to be fermenting. Otherwise, it's past its fermentation. It's just miso flavored at that point. It doesn't have fermented benefits. And it'll hold up. Like mine's like 8 months old right now, and it's still good for till next year.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like and I don't know if mine has that. Like, because I was looking and because I even like, and then I look on the app on like on HEB's app and stuff just to like, okay, maybe I'm not in the right. The what?
It's HEB. That's where you shop.
Yeah, HEB.
Have you asked them? Because sometimes literally there is one in the entire store. And the people that put it in the store didn't even know really what it was. And they just stuck it somewhere. And I mean, gosh, honest truth there. Like, it's like they didn't know what it was. They just stuck it somewhere within the produce section. And it's usually like it looks like it's in like a sour cream container or a cottage cheese container.
Yeah, I'll take a look.
I was able to find it in
Mhm.
northern Wisconsin, so I'm confident it's gonna be there for you somewhere. It is. It's got
Yeah.
it should
Some
be.
type of miso at least. It might not be white, it might be red. Like ours only has one kind. And
Yeah.
that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
And
I guess
all
I'll
of
just
the
click on the
kinds are
app again.
fine. Yeah, all of the kinds
Yeah.
are fine. Some are stronger than others. So it's
Yeah.
not
Okay.
like if you only have red, then you can't get it right. It's all of them are fine. You just
Yeah.
you just have to make sure it's refrigerated. Same with, so like this is a
Okay.
great question, right? Because same with the kraut. If you're getting jarred sauerkraut on a shelf, it's shelf stable, that's no longer fermenting. They're more like pickled sauerkraut. That's where
Yes.
you're getting the sour. Where you get the refrigerated kinds, they're like briny and they're not sour.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm looking for. And I'll check because I know sometimes, like, because we've got 3 in my town, and some like are more bougie. Like one's more bougie than the others, and so maybe I'll go with like the
Yeah,
bougie
go hit
one.
the
Like that
bougie
has like
one. Be like, where's your
go to the bougie. I'll go to the bougie HEB. That's where we usually have like the fancy stuff and stuff because or I might just try to because we have a Trader Joe's like in San Antonio. It's not that far from me, but it's a little bit closer than where you guys were at Summit. But maybe I'll try to see Trader Joe's. I'm assuming Trader Joe's will have all that stuff too.
I think they would, but I don't know for sure.
know.
I've never bought miso there, but they do have some really great jicama wraps. And
Okay.
other foods, they have artichoke hearts and like the canned stuff. There's some good
Okay.
stuff there. That's where I'll also buy furikake. That's super good. But yeah. So I would your
Okay.
regular grocery store, I think you have a better chance.
Okay. I'll
Yeah.
just look and maybe I'll just check on one because I can pull it up on my app and maybe I'll just check every store and see if they have. I'll just search miso and see what pops up, and because I want to try to make that dressing,
Yeah.
but I just haven't been able to find it. And then I want to try to incorporate like some of that other stuff. Like I'm trying to make it a goal to try like 1 or 2 new things, try to broaden my horizon for
Love it.
these. Like that's why. So
Yeah.
the air fryer now. I want to try to make because we can have like kale chips, right? Like we can make kale.
You can,
Kale
you'll just have to
chips.
watch the amount of oil you'll put on it. But yeah, you can.
Okay.
Where's that miso at? Hebs?
Is that
Hubs.
HB?
Yeah.
Yeah. Stop
Or
it.
ATB, whatever you guys call whatever you call it.
HEB.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had
Okay,
this
hold on.
one.
Let me pull. Oh, how do I pull up your picture? Oh, there we go. Okay. I'll have to pull that up and see if that's.
Do you have a
Okay.
Whole Foods by you or no?
There. Oh, I think like not in my town, but I'm pretty sure there's a Whole Foods actually in that general area where the Trader Joe's is, because I'm pretty sure I've seen it on the freeway. So
Yeah, for some reason
Um,
your HEB doesn't have it. Like a Whole Foods is gonna have it.
Are you talking about over next to where we were for Summit?
no,
okay.
it's kind of closer. It's kind of closer to where, like between where we were in Summit and where I live. Like, it's more because we were downtown. It's more west, like San Antonio, where it's at. So,
Is it in like a
but
shopping plaza? Because we went there. That's why I'm asking, because I know that there's a Whole
Oh.
Foods. There's a Trader Joe's and there's a Whole Foods and there's a whole bunch of like there's restaurants and there's a bunch of like
Oh yeah, in
like
Stone Oak. I
retail
don't know,
stores.
yeah. Then that's probably because
There's a Whole Foods there.
yeah. Oh, okay, yeah.
Mhm.
Then you probably were because that's like in it's like off of 1604, and Stone Oak is like the area that you probably were in. But yeah, that's
I really don't know where we were.
that was like that's where it was. Like I think I'm pretty sure because if you went like if you were you going home at the time or headed
No,
back
it was
home?
when we were coming there. We had just picked Kate up from the airport and we were going from the airport to the hotel, and this place was in between the two. So
Oh, I know where you're at, in a different spot. But I think, oh yes, okay, that's a different spot than where I'm thinking. But I know where you were. I know where you were at from between the airport and where we were downtown. I know where
Yeah.
that's at. So
Yeah, so
I didn't
there
realize
was,
that they had a Whole Foods over there.
yeah, there's definitely Whole Foods
Okay.
because we were in there because Kate got food. She
Oh,
needed
okay.
food.
Yeah, see what
Okay,
your,
that'll be
see
good
what your
too.
HEB has, because they probably have something to get started with. And then, and then as if you feel like you want to continue with things or need more of something or try other things, you can
Yeah.
take a
Okay.
little field trip to the old Trader Joe's and
Yeah.
those kinds of places.
Yeah, I'll check mine and yeah, because I wanted to see like because I think you had posted a picture of like the crowds that were like in the refrigerated section, because I didn't see that either, but I know not all of the HEBs have like the same thing, so I just need to check
Yeah.
What is this?
And stuff.
Bassy
Bassy?
Road? Yes,
Yeah.
East Bassy Road. Yeah, Scott
Yeah.
just went and got our receipts.
That's the quarry. Yeah, that's the quarry. Yeah, there's
Yes,
like
Alamo
yeah, but
Quarry.
yeah, the quarry.
Yeah,
I know
yeah, that's
at.
where it was.
Cool.
There you go.
Cool. That's close to my
Perfect.
in-laws, so yeah, I know where that's at. I'll go there.
Perfect.
Thank
All
you.
right. Well, good. Any other questions? Concerns? Things you want to share on the nutrition call? We used to joke that this was our therapy session. All right. Let's see. We have I don't remember what tomorrow is for Funky Friday.
Comic-Con.
Comic-Con. Okay, good. I'll have to get my Wonder Woman gear out.
Uh-oh.
Right? Yikes. And then we're gonna have the next meal prep class on the 13th of August, because I will be out of pocket on the 6th. So 13th. Yay. Yeah.
Oh man. I won't be here.
Yeah, and then and
Indeed.
our next call will be August 3rd. No, sorry. Yes, August 3rd. I will be live from Wisconsin.
Awesome.
All right.
Cool.
Well, and if anything else pops up, feel free to put it in the chat. That's what it's all about and for. It's been so fun seeing people's food and getting some ideas and just seeing all the pictures. I love it. It's been very active. It's fun. It's fun. I feel a little bit bad for the regular nutrition group because, sorry, you guys, we're getting all the pictures in the gut protocol, but we should go over and show some love to the regular nutrition group once in a while. Feel totally abandoned. I'll put my nice cream over there when I post my pictures. Oh, Kim, you made baba ganoush? Yee. Did the people like it? Or you just made it right now? It's so easy.
Yeah, I
So
just made
good.
it out and it looks just like hummus. I put it in the blender, so
Yes.
It's
I'm
so
gonna give
good.
it to my
I will-
husband.
So good.
I will tell you, I do add just a tiny little bit of liquid smoke to mine, like a drop or two, because it's like it gives it this richness that's amazing.
This may
I
be
love
the
baba ganoush.
this is maybe
What
the
is that?
only way I can eat eggplant. So we'll
It's
see.
so
It's
you
eggplant
roast eggplant
hummus.
and tahini. Yeah, you do roasted eggplant and tahini and lemon and garlic, and it's just it's so good.
Oh, that
It's
sounds
so good.
A green and a teaspoon or
So
something
good.
too.
You can just like sit there and just really,
Yeah.
it's
Perfect
dangerous.
on we made one meal prep class. We made collard green wraps. So you take a big collard green leaf and you can blanch it or just leave it raw, and then you slather a whole bunch of that baba ganoush, put some quinoa and your veggies in there.
Oh, snap.
Match. So good,
The sound effects are perfect.
right? I mean, just yum.
It is. It's really good. I love baba ganoush.
Highly recommend. It's funny because that when Kim asked about an eggplant that she could serve someone, I'm like, oh, baba ganoush, because like David's whole family, they wouldn't touch an eggplant, but we had baba ganoush one time, and they like request it now every time we come over. It's really funny. Like they just think it's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's so
when you can
good.
put it out with some tortilla chips for people, it's perfect. Put a veggie tray out, you're set.
So we're
Yeah.
doing veggie trays.
Perfect.
Nice. Enjoy.
All right, ladies.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to get a picture probably because here, let's take it.
Lily's not here.
Let's take it on my phone because then I have a better chance of getting it onto a group. Okay, we'll try to do it without, oh, there we go, without the reflection. Okay, ready? Oh, Sue's ready. Okay. Cheese. Okay. All right,
I
ladies.
think I'm late. Just kidding.
We'll see you in the other
All
group.
right.
Have a good
Bye,
night.
guys.
All right. Adios.